Hey friends, welcome to today's video. I'm so excited to be sharing swatches for the Olive Polish Deluge collection that just launched recently. So let's get into it. So the first polish is Raindrop, and this is described as a dusty peacock blue cream studded with micro holographic glitters. And I know we only just got started, but this is definitely my favorite from the collection. So even though this is described as a cream, it actually has a slightly crully formula, which means that the base isn't super opaque and it's just a little bit sheer, which allows those small holographic glitters to shine through. So this polish still has a great formula on that first coat, but of course we're going to be doing a second coat to make it fully opaque. And I am just such a fan of this shade. Usually for spring collections, I'm drawn to the brighter shades, the more pastel kind of typical colors, which we'll also see later in the collection. But this was just a surprise favorite for me with the dark, maybe not dark, but dusty peacock blue color. I think it's really the holographic glitters that just put it over the top for me. Next up is Storm, which is described as a medium warm-toned gray cream. Now, I usually don't reach for grays a lot, especially during the spring, but this one really took me by surprise. The formula had such an amazing coverage on the first coat. I was just blown away. I wasn't expecting this to be a one-coat wonder, so yeah, if your nails are shorter than mine, this is easily a polish you can turn to when you need a last-minute mani before you head out the door. Of course, don't skip your top coat. But anyway, here I am doing a second coat just to show you what it looks like built up a little bit more. The sides of my nails were a little bit dark, but I don't think they were bald spots. I think they were just reflections of, the things in my room. But yeah, this still had insane coverage on the first coat and just super impressive. So next up is Cloudy, which is described as the lightest sky blue cream, so light it verges on white. And I won't lie, I was a little skeptical about this one because I just had a hard time seeing the sky blue in here. So I feel a little conflicted about shades like this that are described as so light it's almost white or so dark that it's almost black. I usually prefer seeing the color, but once I started to apply it and again seeing that buttery smooth formula, I was like, maybe it's not so bad, right? So I gave it a proper chance, and I think on the second coat you do start to see more of that blue coming through. Again, it is super light, so if you're into shades like that, then this one is going to be perfect for you. But either way, I think this is still a really refreshing shade. The next shade is called Sunshine, and this is described as a sunny pastel yellow cream. So pastels are right up my alley. I absolutely love how soft and pretty they are, especially for spring. So I really love this one. And it has a beautiful formula. I was surprised by the coverage on the first coat, just like the last polish, because these are such light colors. So you would expect them to be more streaky or needing 3 or 4 coats. But this was perfectly opaque in 2 coats. And I do want to say I ended up missing a corner of my nail there, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't have perfect application, but I promise the dark spots that you see are not bald spots. Up next we have Sprout, which is described as a pastel yellow-green cream. So I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this one because I usually don't like yellow leaning greens. I just don't find them super flattering, but I think because this one is a pastel and it has like the perfect amount of yellow, I actually really like this one. The formula was also so impressive, just like the other creams that we saw in the collection already. They're just such great coverage on the first coat alone that I think it just made me enjoy the colors even more. So here I'm adding the second coat to make it fully opaque, and yeah, it's just such a pretty, lively, fresh color for spring. But I know greens are controversial, so let me know what you think. So rounding out the collection is Blossom, and this is described as a petal pink with a strong gold contrasting shimmer. And I thought this was going to take 3 coats to get fully opaque, but just like the other polishes in this collection, I was completely impressed by the formula and application and just how good the coverage was on that first coat alone. I'm pretty convinced too that you can wear this in just 1 coat for a nice sheer wash of color. It self-levels really nicely, so I don't know, I'm just a fan of that really soft, almost romantic kind of look, you know? But I did do a second coat on top just to show you how that builds up. And I think it's pretty opaque for me in 2 coats. I did end up swiping off a little bit of the polish towards the right side of my nail, so there is a tiny bald spot. So you might need 3 coats depending on how long your nails are, but it's still beautiful. And here's a final look at the Olive Ave Deluge collection. I absolutely love this color story. The colors and formulas were fantastic. So comment down below and let me know what you think.